What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a fantastic Saturday overall. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm here to talk about a free agent name that has been linked to the New York Mets on the radar, possibly having a little bit of a reunion with the New York Mets after he didn't play all of last year, but he's been part of the Mets organization previously from 2015 all the way to 2021. And that, of course, is outfielder Michael Conforto. There are a lot of rumors going around that the Mets and Conforto could potentially be looking for a possible reunion with one another, with the fact that the New York Mets right now are dealing with Brandon Nimmo, who is currently a free agent, a former longtime teammate of Conforto's. He's currently a free agent right now, and he's commanding possibly around 120 to 130 million per year. And if the New York Mets can find a way to bring back a guy like Nimmo, Michael Conforto could be a solid fallback option for the New York Mets. There's also rumors that the New York Yankees, who have had their eye on Conforto for a long time, could be interested in the 29-year-old outfielder from Oregon State. Michael Conforto, over his 7-year career, he's had about 2,551 at-bats. He's accounted for 650 hits with 132 home runs, 255 batting average overall. He has 396 RBIs, 18 stolen bases, 14 runs with an on-base percentage of 386, a slugging percentage of 468, and an OPS of about 824. And that spans over his 757 games over his Mets career. Conforto, obviously, he did not play last year because he was dealing with a bad shoulder injury. You have to remember, a couple of years ago, Michael Conforto had major surgery on his shoulder after having a torn capsule muscle. So Conforto had to miss all of last season. But overall, Michael Conforto has been the type of player that's been very on and off over his career. He's had some really strong seasons with the New York Mets, and at times he's had a very weak season. I'd argue overall his best season came all the way back in 2019 when he was 26 years old, where he played in 151 games. He had about 549 at-bats. He hit 141 hits with 90 runs scored. He had about 33 home runs and 92 RBIs with 7 stolen bases. He walked 84 times. He struck out 149 times. He had a 257 batting average with a 363 on-base percentage, a 494 slugging percentage, and an OPS of 856. But mainly, Michael Conforto has been a very up and down player. In fact, all the way back till 2020 and even last year in 2021, Conforto had a couple of down years with the New York Mets, and you could argue that injury that he suffered to his shoulder with the capsule injury might have been affecting Michael Conforto. As even in 2021, he only had 14 home runs and 55 RBIs while only hitting 232 in that season and playing 125 games. That is not Michael Conforto type numbers, but Conforto has been a very streaky hitter. He's been a very, very streaky hitter. When he's hot at the plate, the dude is one of the top young hitting outfielders in the game. But when he's cold, you could argue that the guy is either a fourth outfielder at best, or he could be even teetering towards being a minor league hitter. That's how streaky Michael Conforto has been over his career. Would I want a Michael Conforto reunion with the New York Mets? Absolutely. I would not mind having Michael Conforto back. He is only 29 years old. He has shown potential of being a top-level outfielder. He was a former All-Star back in 2019, so the kid does have potential to be a very solid New York Mets hitter. He's not going to be a guy that's going to go out there and wow you. He's not that type of player. He's a solid starting outfielder. He was mainly a right fielder for the New York Mets. Hell, I would even think about bringing him back, even if we do find a way to sign Brandon Nimmo, because you can never have enough outfield depth. And if you think that Mark Hanna is not the answer at left field, why don't you bring back Michael Conforto, and you could reunite him with Brandon Nimmo in the outfield. But do I think the New York Mets are entertaining possibly bringing back Michael Conforto? 50-50, I'd say. Because of the fact that Brandon Nimmo right now, he's going to be commanding a lot on the offseason market. And Michael Conforto, his leverage right now is a lot more down compared to where it was in 2020 when he was going to go into the free agent market looking for a big deal. But because of the fact he missed all of 2022 with that shoulder injury, his market is not going to be as big as he might have expected originally. And maybe he only could command a 1 year or maybe possibly a 2 year short deal with the New York Mets and whomever might be interested in signing somebody like Conforto going forward. I think, honestly, I would sign him because he doesn't have to be a guy that has to carry the offense, though the Mets are looking for an impact player at the DH position. Now, say the New York Mets don't find a way to bring back Brandon Nimmo, then I think the urgency to bring in a guy like Michael Conforto might heighten up because the New York Mets would have a major hole in that starting lineup, and you're missing your table setter. So, would I bring back Conforto? Honestly, yes, I would. I would bring him back, give him at least a 1 year deal, let him go out there and prove himself, and if he has a very good year, then you could talk multi-year extension and keep him in Flushing for the going forward. Do I think the New York Mets are actually going to bring back Michael Conforto to the team? I'd say about 50-50. I think there's a good chance, but a lot of it might hinge on what happens with Brandon Nimmo in his free agent market. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with Brandon Nimmo as this free agent market heats up a little bit as we get into the latter part of November and as we get into December when we get towards the winter meetings. Obviously, we have the general manager meetings that are going to be happening next week, and then we're going to have the winter meetings in the beginning of December, and that's usually when you might start seeing some of the bigger names either start to negotiate some contracts, or you might start seeing some trades that could start occurring for Major League Baseball teams. We had a couple of signings here or there. Rafael Montero is re-signed with the Houston Astros. The Mets have re-signed Edwin Diaz. And, of course, Clayton Kershaw is re-upping with the Los Angeles Dodgers. But in terms of Michael Conforto, I'm curious to see what type of contract he might be looking for, what the Mets are interested in terms of bringing back a guy like Conforto, and if this ties in with what's happening right now with Brandon Nimmo's free agent market. Because if the Mets do sign Brandon Nimmo back to a contract, it might ease up their interest in Conforto unless you want to bring Conforto in as either a left-handed platoon DH option or if you want to make him a fourth outfielder going forward. So we're going to have to wait and see. But just think about that thought right now. Would you, Mets fans, be interested in a reunion with Michael Conforto after he missed this past season? Or would you rather look for some other type of upgrade for the New York Mets in terms of their outfield position if, in fact, the Mets aren't able to bring back Brandon Nimmo on a long-term deal? So if you guys like this video, please hit the like button below. Sub up if you haven't already to NYGJeffyT85 for more breaking news, updates, chatter, and free agent news surrounding the New York Mets. Turn on the bell for notifications on the next video or short that's dropping surrounding the New York Mets. And let me know in the comment section what you think about the potential of a Michael Conforto New York Mets reunion in Queens this offseason. So I thank you very much, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Saturday afternoon / evening. Take it easy, and as always, let's go New York Mets. All you got to do is you got to believe in those boys from Queens.